So I was doing some casual browsing through YouTube and Reddit. Nothing serious. But on a whim, I decided to look back at the Sad Satan mystery, just to see if any new information had emerged. In doing so, I stumbled upon something interesting. A small detail that links Sad Satan with an English YouTuber who mainly talked about social issues and current events in the UK. What possible connection could a person like that have with a controversial deep web horror game like Sad Satan? One of the most interesting and sinister gaming mysteries to ever come from the YouTube platform. Since coming to the attention of the public way back in 2015, it has become a source of fearful intrigue for many online gamers and streamers, even to this day. Despite the years that have passed, there are still many questions regarding the game's true origins. Questions that will likely remain unanswered due to the main characters involved having disappeared from the internet for one reason or another. For those of you not familiar with Sad Satan, there is a huge backstory to the game, all of which is a bit convoluted for me to go over in this video, but I'll leave a few sources downstairs in the description that will help set the scene. But for those of you reasonably caught up with the lore, let's continue on. As already alluded to, Sad Satan is a horror game that allegedly came from the deep web via the Tor network. It made its debut in the summer of 2015 when a YouTuber by the name of Obscure Horror Corner uploaded 5 videos of himself playing the game. I say 5 videos, but if you go to his channel today, you'll immediately notice that only 4 are available. Part 5 having been removed due to a TOS violation. We'll come back to this point later. Anyway, looking back at the channel itself, Obscure Horror Corner's older content mainly consisted of him playing various indie horror games with no additional editing or even commentary. Despite the simplistic nature of his content, Obscure Horror Corner maintained a modest but respectful subscriber following. This rapidly grew after he posted his gameplay of Sad Satan along with a tantalizing story of how he came into possession of the game. As far as the actual gameplay itself is concerned, Sad Satan mostly consisted of walking down various eerie corridors and entering different rooms. All throughout, different slowed down or reversed subliminal audio clips are heard on a loop. Along with various seemingly random images appearing on the screen. One of them being a photograph of Jimmy Savile. Remember this detail, as it will become important the further we go on. Sad Satan became a hit for Obscure Horror Corner, with many people flocking to his channel to view firsthand this latest craze, dramatically increasing his sub count in the process. But while Obscure Horror Corner was basking in this sudden success, things began to quickly unravel when numerous internet sleuths on 4chan and Reddit began investigating. This included highlighting a number of lies and misleading information that Obscure Horror Corner himself gave regarding how he came into possession of the game. Things were further complicated with the sudden appearance of a user by the name of ZK, or ZK, who claimed that Obscure Horror Corner had lied about the exact nature of the game. This was followed up with a link to download what was claimed to be the real Sad Satan game. This version contained highly illegal images involving children, as well as gore and snuff images.
I mean, it could be if you want it. Oh! Oh! That is an image of somebody getting their body run over by a truck. And because of the pressure of the truck, their innards fly out their face.
Nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you? None whatsoever. Yeah, no, y'all keep on. Yeah, for sure. Another one of those that I can't show. Ah! I'm done.
Obscure Horror Corner soon came under fire from various people online, as he later admitted that Sad Satan originally did indeed have gore and indecent images of children. But he continued to staunchly proclaim he did not make the game, as many had now began accusing him of. Aside from a few feeble denials, he was not able to vindicate himself in the eyes of the public. He soon disappeared from the internet. His channel remains up, but has seen no activity aside from a few fans or newcomers leaving the odd comment. Alex Belfield is a former journalist and radio presenter turned YouTuber who created his channel all the way back in 2007.
He's watching. Didn't know what they were doing there. Well, his name is Alex Belfield. Those of you who listen to Radio News will be familiar with his voice because he never stops talking. He's the station's mid-morning presenter, and here he is on screen now. Now, Alex, tell us, what else have you been up to? And of course, it's been an incredible week for you, really.
Well, I know, Harry, when you look at me, you think ballet dancer, don't you? Obviously, this is a face and a body that is born to be in a tutu.
He mainly posted radio clips, celebrity interviews, and general showbiz news. He experienced significant growth in early 2019, which coincided with a sudden outbreak of a particular virus. In the early stages of the pandemic, many countries went into complete lockdown in an attempt to slow down the infection rate.
The time has now come for us all to do more. From this evening, I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home, because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households.
With many people stuck inside their homes, people turned to online entertainment to combat boredom. This led to an unintended spike in viewership for podcasters, streamers, and content creators, especially for those who regularly uploaded. This is something that Belfield capitalized on. After rebranding his channel as The Voice of Reason, his content shifted toward current events and social issues. His upload schedule was also very consistent, releasing 2 or 3 videos almost every single day, along with a live stream once a week. Using little more than his iPhone, Belfield's videos were usually only a few minutes long, and so were easily digestible for the public. As impressive as Belfield's rise was, his downfall was even more so. Despite his popularity, Belfield was not without controversy. Authorities arrested Belfield a number of times and raided his home due to alleged bomb threats. This prompted Belfield to start legal action against Nottinghamshire police. There were also questions raised about Belfield's crowdfunding. At first, Belfield was openly critical of others who e-begged or who had set up GoFundMes.
Do not give money by GoFundMes.
Only to later on change his tone by asking his own audience to crowdfund him, a lawyer, for his legal issues.
By donating what you can at the GoFundMe page.
But the crushing blow for Belfield came in June of 2001 when he appeared in court facing charges of stalking and harassment toward various UK journalists and presenters, most notably Jeremy Vine.
Alex Belfield from Mapley in Nottingham was a radio presenter at many different stations, including BBC Radio Leeds. He's accused of stalking 8 people, including the broadcaster Jeremy Vine.
At trial, Belfield represented himself in court, which raised further suspicion as to what happened to all the money he raised through crowdfunding, which was allegedly set aside for lawyers.
And I think it's just amazing how generous people have been.
It's mind-boggling. Sir, it's mind-boggling. I mean, there's no other way of saying it. I mean, the generosity of this audience, I'm not profiting a penny. We're buying holiday homes in Barbados for lawyers all over this country. And the system is absolutely fucking outrageous. It's disgusting and it's vile, but it is what it is. If you haven't got money, you can't defend yourself. And that, I think, is sickening.
Is the money going towards the 12 criminal charges that have been brought against you for stalking? Or is it the defamation case that's been brought against you? Or is it, in fact, to sue the BBC?
Yes. Well, as you know, we're not talking about that. It's been given for legal, and you're trying to be a smart-ass, sir, and you know that we're not going to talk about that. But thank you for bringing it up. It has gone 100% to my lawyer. As you well know, Mr. Cleverdick, you're trying to be a smart-ass like Boris, and the problem is with silly voices like that. It's a twirly, by the way. Knew it was coming. We had one yesterday. The reality is 100% has gone to my lawyers, and you know exactly what it's for, and you know it's going to happen. You're going to get cut off for being a farthead. Thank you for your call.
It was little surprise when in September of 2022, Belfield was found guilty of 4 counts of stalking and sentenced to 5.5 years in prison. As of the release of this video, he remains locked up, but is unlikely to serve his entire sentence. With many of his newer videos either having been privated or deleted, and a slowly dwindling sub count, it's not clear if Belfield will have much of a platform when he is released from prison. Okay, so I think I've stalled for long enough. Now that the stage is set, let's finally look into what connects Sad Satan with Alex Belfield. To do that, we must first go back to Obscure Horror Corner. If you remember earlier in this video, I mentioned that his 5th episode of Sad Satan had been deleted due to a TOS violation. This is further explained by YouTuber Hannah the Horrible.
So now we get to part 5. Like I touched on earlier, this part no longer exists on Obscure Horror Corner's channel. When you go to the link that was provided on Reddit by somebody, it says that the video was deleted for violating YouTube's terms of service. And I'm not sure why, because it's not worse than any of the other ones. However, if you just look up the video in the search bar on YouTube, it does come up. It does come up on somebody named Obscure Horror Corner's channel with the same profile picture, but it's a different channel. There's only like 48 subscribers or something like that, and they uploaded the video. I have no idea if this is actually Jamie or just somebody who copied his profile for the reason of re-uploading the video.
Within this lost episode, there is a section where a particular audio clip is heard on a loop.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever.
On the face of it, this wasn't something out of the ordinary, as Sad Satan is filled with similar audio clips.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
Yo, comment if you guys know who's talking right now.
Whatsoever.
It sounds oddly familiar. Okay.
While I'm sure iamlucid eventually got an answer to his question, I'm going to explain it for you. This clip is part of a lengthy interview with Jimmy Savile. Yes, this Jimmy Savile. And the one conducting the interview is none other than Alex Belfield.
I've lost my keys to go in. I'll say, step this way. And they say, I thought you'd say that. It's not my fault. I can't help it. I'm a single fella.
There's nothing wrong with it. You haven't broken any laws, have you?
None whatsoever. And if I do, well, I'll stand for that as well.
The interview is officially considered to be the last Jimmy Savile did before his death a mere few months later, and can easily be found on Alex Belfield's channel. This marks the only time, at least from what I can see, that another YouTuber has been featured within the Sad Satan lore, or the game itself.
Show me the